shamanism, sound healing, answer any questions that you may have. But you see the screen, am I pointing to the right way? Over here? Oh, over here? That is an app called Clubhouse, and it is a social media platform on Apple. And it's like just audio based. And I have it set up, I think, that if somebody joins my room and if I'm having an actual conversation with somebody in Clubhouse, that it's going to be picked up and be able to go through StreamYard to go out to the Facebook and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So this is intended as a test, but certainly any question about healing, about shamanism, about anything is fair game if you have questions. And if you are on Clubhouse, please hop into Clubhouse right now and look up my room, Peruvian Shamanism Sound Healing, or my username on Clubhouse is at Sonic Shaman, and just hop in the room and say something. And see if we can hear you. That's my main purpose of coming on, just to test this out. But thank you for the extra people joining us. And for those of you who don't know what type of shamanism I practice, just a point of clarity, the word shaman is an umbrella term. It literally is, well, today it's an umbrella term. Originally it was mentioning one specific tribe in the Siberian region of Russia. And then through anthropologists and research and things, everything gets rolled up. Any native tradition gets rolled up under shamanism. So more accurately, I am a Paco, P-A-Q-O, which is a type of indigenous practice from South America, the Caro Indians up in the mountains. So it's the Paco Cuna tradition of Peru. And then I'm also a holder of some of the lineages in the more coastal region, like the Corilazo tradition, the Huáscar Inca tradition, and a couple others, curanderismo, which just means healer, like curandero, curandera, Spanish for healer. So a lot of those types of things that kind of rolls up into this blending of cross-cultural shamanism, which we call the Qatari tradition of cross-cultural shamanism. So that's the type of shamanism that I practice. So all Pacos are shaman, not all shaman are Pacos. But it's important to know where that term originates, because that's where we get a lot of mixed points of view, because people have a certain filter that they're looking at something through, and then when we find someone with a different point of view, we start arguing about it. That's where we have all this conflict. Like, how many religions do we have? How many variations of shamanism are there under that umbrella term? And then when people hear shaman, well, I was told you never use that word, and I was told this, and I was told that. All relevant information if you knew the lens that they were looking at it through. But then when we start judging the same things, looking through different filters, that's where we start getting into fights and having disagreements about who's who and what's right and all that good stuff. So, but that's the type of tradition that I practice. And then of course I do sound healing, which I don't have the green screen up with my bowls, but anybody who's interested, I'm having an in-person concert this month on the 26th, and I'll put this one up so you can kind of see through my green screen of the bowls how I set it up, and people lay around the room. We do limit it to 9 people right now to keep in mind with all the mandates and everything like that. So, but if you're interested, I think there is 2 spots left, maybe 3. But there's also an online option. I stream it, and that one is pay whatever you like. You just donate, and then I stream the concert to you. You can just do it from home. But in person, it's $30 if you want to check that out. It's more fun in person. Well, but it's just as potent, even if you do it distance. The only thing you really lose is the harmonic effects. It's like, so like in sound healing, there's like 2 main things. One is sympathetic resonance, and that's where like your chakra, if it's out of alignment, comes into alignment when it gets in touch with the healthy frequency of a chakra. And the other thing is more harmonics. And it's like where the energies and sound waves are crossing each other and creating these still points in the body. And within those still points, it affects the water molecules. It's like sacred geometry happening in the water molecules of your body. And that, though you get it distance wise, it's you lose a little bit of that when the sound isn't bouncing around the room. So if you're going to do it virtually, if you have like a speaker system, it's a lot nicer. You get a lot more of the effect if you have like surround sound and stuff like that. I'm talking with my hands, but you totally can't see because it's not in the camera shot. So if you see me moving around, it's because I'm moving my hands. I talk with my hands a little bit. And if you're just joining us, I see quite a few people watching us. The main purpose that I'm streaming right now is to try to do a test of an app called Clubhouse. So you see on my screen share, this is the Clubhouse interface on iPad. I'm just chilling out here, waiting to see if somebody comes into my room so we can hopefully get them to talk and see if we can hear them, because I think it's going to be really cool to be able to have audio conversations live on Facebook with people from this other app. So that's what we're looking for. So if you're on Clubhouse, look me up, please. We'll give it a few more minutes. Or maybe it's just not in the cards today. See, what I should have done is posted on Facebook, hey, anybody in Clubhouse, can you hop in and like check it out? But I was too excited. I'm like, I'm just gonna start a stream, see what happens. You guys like random streams about random things anyhow, right? Any questions about anything? Keep our conversation relevant and moving. And thank you for the reference, Otto, on the sound healer. I will definitely be checking her out and seeing about that. Okay, I use frequencies with my Rife machine for my body. I also imprint frequencies, not the same as sound, but it works. I mean, frequencies, it's all vibration. And like a Rife machine, there was also from the Dinshaw Institute, they had like a light therapy version of that. So instead of like sound or like, yeah, sound frequencies, it was all things they called tonations. And there was this like big machine. It had a whole gallons of water because the lights at the time that they came out with this got so hot that they needed these water reservoirs just to keep it cool enough to like not just melt the light bulbs and stuff like that. And then they had these different filters that they would put in front of the light, and they would do these things called tonations. And there was different frequencies and different combinations for like burns, for cancer, for all these different things. However, they were having such great results, and then all the equipment got confiscated, and Mr. Dinshaw was put into jail for doing medical stuff that wasn't validatable and stuff like that, unfortunately. So it's kind of like in the same family as Rife Machine, but it was like through light therapy, and you can still get some of that. You can still get some of that technology. It's a little bit different now, and they have like formulas to convert from the original book to this new system because the way that the lighting works is a little bit different, but it's still very cool information. Yeah, you've heard of that? Cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys, for a little bit. I will be on at noon doing an official book reading for Money's Not the Problem You Are. So it's going to be like the next 30% of the book. So we're going to be doing that. That will be fun. Especially around this time of year where you got tax season coming up. It's a great time to talk about money. We got the stimulus money coming in. Like, it's a good time to talk about, well, how do you tell the universe, hey, I want more of that to show up? And use those as kind of like springboards to create more abundance for yourself. So that's going to be coming up at noon. It's a straight up book reading, though. I'm not allowed to facilitate while I do the book readings, but if I accidentally answer a question or two, that's fine. And you can use the frequency of color on the Rife machine, absolutely, because everything is vibration. It's just whether or not you can perceive it is the question. Like, you only have so much of an audible range or so much of a visual range, but all of a sudden you put on different instruments that have the ability to sense data and vibration outside of those spectrums, and you know it's there, like the Schumann resonance. It's ever present, but most of us can't hear it because it's so low, it's below the audible range. Though it's been spiking. There's been times where people are hearing it in certain areas, and there's been people thinking they have tinnitus or these types of things, but it's really the Schumann resonance getting so high that it starts to come into the audible range in some locations. And for those of you who don't know Schumann resonance, it is really the pulse of the planet. It is the relationship, the resonance frequency between the Earth and the ionosphere. And it is important for our health. They even found that the astronauts, they would get sick in space and they weren't sure why. And they found it was because of the lack of the Schumann resonance. So now on the spaceships and on the International Space Station, they actually have these frequency generators that will put off the Schumann resonance so that they don't get sick, because it's literally our connection with the planet. Pretty important stuff. So that's that. And there's one tuning fork set that's based all on that frequency. It's the Solar Harmonic Spectrum, which was by Dr. John Boyu. We talked about him a little bit ago. And that whole set is based off of Schumann resonance using an 8-second fundamental frequency to base the rest of the tuning forks off of. Oh, that's cool stuff. Any questions from anybody? People just like see me sit here waiting for people to come in, seeing if it's going to work out. If you are just joining us, if you're in Clubhouse, make a comment, let me know. See, yeah, 7.8 hertz is sometimes Earth. It fluctuates. That's the thing with the Schumann resonance. And recently it's been spiking and being way higher. And if you look over time, it's just like a stock going up. It's been like this. So there's been some critics that think that the solar harmonic spectrum isn't valid anymore. But I say, contraire, if you go the opposite way, 8 cycles per second to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1, it's like a one-ality set. It's like the breakdown into our perception of duality. So I find that it's very valid, even if it's the Schumann resonance has changed. But that's why he picked 8, because it was close and it did fluctuate. Still fluctuates because everything is always changing. So it has to fluctuate, right? There's a great book by Neil Donald Walsh, What Everything Changes, Change Everything. And it's really the only constant you ever know you can count on is that nothing will ever be constant. And you always have to change. But when you know that, you're much quicker to go with the flow than resisting change and trying to keep things as they were. Yeah, you think it's at 11 now. It's been spiking really high at times because it's not like it's just one frequency through the whole earth. It can vary from location to location. I wonder if there's a site. I'm sure there is. Schumann resonance chart over time, maybe. I wonder if maybe a 20-year chart. Try it out. Well, this one works out kind of well. Let me share this real quick. I'll stop sharing the screen that isn't mattering right now anyway, since nobody's on Clubhouse. Come on. Chrome tab, Schumann resonance. There we go. So like it's, you can see, I believe that the normal is the green, but you can see like where it's normally like 7.8 is like across the board. Let me make sure this is actually in StreamYard. Because now I'm not sure if I shared it. No, I didn't add it to the screen. See, silly me. So here's the, make that a little bit bigger. The green is like the normal frequency, and the band that's kind of the consistent place where it normally is around 7.8. But you can see where it jumps up, like even up to almost 40 hertz, and anything like above 30 or in that range starts to be in the audible. Actually, what is the? I have to Google that. What is the human hearing range? What do we do before Google? You know, have to go to the library, look things up. Yeah, humans can detect the frequency range from about 20 hertz and up. So anything over 20 hertz, when the Schumann resonance spikes, some people are able to pick that up and hear that as an audible tone, which is kind of, if you're not expecting it, probably could be very concerning for people. But that's that little chart. All right. I don't think people are going to hop in my Clubhouse. Last call, if you're watching and you're on Clubhouse, speak now and make the shaman very happy that you can hop into my Clubhouse and say something and see if we pick up on it. Share screen, application window. Here's my little Clubhouse back. We can see my empty room. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, so we're just seeing if anybody hops in. It's my very first time actually having a room on Clubhouse, so I didn't research anything about how you're supposed to build an audience or anything. I was just like, this is going to be the coolest thing. Let's just hop in. Any random questions before I consider ending the stream here, since we're not getting anybody coming to play in Clubhouse? If anybody has a friend in Clubhouse, like ping them, be like, hey, connect with Hank so he can do this test. We'll actually schedule a time when I know somebody could be on Clubhouse this time. But it's always fun to come on and just talk about random things. Let's see. People watching from a lot of different places, just know not Clubhouse. Anything going on in your guys' world? Anything you want to see, like in terms of classes or content for these live streams? Anything on your mind that you don't know about that you want to find out more about? I have like about 11 or 12 guests in the hopper of people who want to come on and do live streams. So I'm sure I can find someone that will be able to cater to a topic. It was great chatting. I don't use Apple. Keep the Facebook link. Yep. Well, I'm always going to do Facebook. I'm all a big fan of ease. It's like, okay, I'm already doing live streaming. I love that. What else could I do that doesn't add too much more work? Because, family, kids, multiple businesses, it's like, well, you don't have time for a lot. So when you find something that you like doing, it's like, well, how can I maximize this content creation? And well, one, I'll upload everything as podcasts so people can go to like iHeartRadio or iTunes, Spotify, they can find it there. And then this Clubhouse, if this works, this is like one other thing I could just plug in and do everything and have it going out to one more place without adding a lot of extra effort. It's more effort finding somebody to do the test than to stream to a Clubhouse. So It's pretty cool though. I don't know how to do it with multiple people on the stream with me yet though. Like if this does work, I think it's just going to be um, it's just going to be when I can do it solo. Because if there was somebody else, like if Casey was on and he's talking, like the audio picking up to go to the iPad would be the problem. Though I think I can do it with the soundboard. If you guys are sound wizards, let me know because I know a lot of tech stuff, but it's like a little bit about a whole bunch of things. So I sound more tech savvy than I am. Yeah, it will grow eventually. Hey, I'm really happy with the growth that I've experienced just doing what I'm doing now. Like between like 3 different YouTube channels, like growing them all consistently. Podcast, I've had thousands of downloads now, so people are getting the information and running with it. So really cool. And most importantly, the content is out there because that's it's fun doing this, but offering stuff that actually helps people even if they never get a session or anything like that. That's what it's really about. Like spreading I like saying the contagion of consciousness, like getting the information there that even if they just listen to one show and that one thing helps them, that is a win. And that's going to help change everything. So my point of view is, do what you can to create the most change possible with as much ease doing it as you can. Because I love ease. Why work hard, right? Who says you have to work hard? I think that is a belief that's instilled in us. What if you could do things with ease and have fun, joy, possibility, and abundance, all with doing things that come with ease to you instead of having to work at a job you hate? Because that's what, when I started getting into healing work, it's like, well, when are you going to get a real job? And I did do the finance gig for 10 years, so I had the real job. But how many people do the real job and then find out that it doesn't fill their soul and they have a shift in life and they go a completely different direction? What would it take to just do that from the beginning and find your passion and work with it? But yeah, since people aren't coming on, I will call it a wrap here, but I will be on at noon doing Money's Not the Problem, You Are, which is just a book reading from Access Consciousness, because really things are about, you are the only one in the room. So things aren't showing up how you would like them to show up. The solution isn't outside of you, it's within you. And that's really what this book is diving into, about getting rid of the limitations, the glass ceilings, the blocks, getting rid of the trauma and drama from life and the points of view you were stuck with about money, receiving abundance, etc., and stepping into different possibilities. So tune in at noon for that. We'll read for about an hour. I figured I planned it around people's lunch breaks or whatnot. And we'll catch you later. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Bye, everyone.